Hey, it's Thomas here, and today we're going to be taking a look at Inland's DB-100 diamond-bladed wet bandsaw. And I've used plenty of wet bandsaws in the past for cutting up big, thick, chunky coral colonies so you can get those nice precision cuts and even make circles around those micromussa polyps and stuff like that. And I gotta say, Inland's saw might just be the best option for the average reefer for a few notable reasons, so let's dig into it. There are lots of great fragging tools out there, from scalpels to bone cutters, but when you have really thick SPS, chunky LPS, or even matting softies like zoas that are growing on a rock, one of the best tools out there to get a clean, accurate, and quick healing cut is a wet diamond blade bandsaw. Any serious fragging operation is going to have a bandsaw as a key part of their arsenal. They are simply the best at fragging things like acanthastria, micromussa, favia, phobites, thick tabling acropora, and even chalice and plating montes. But also because the water on the blade keeps the corals cool during the cutting process, which would otherwise generate a ton of heat, while also washing away grit, mucus, and bits of coral flesh so that the cuts are clean and free from debris that could otherwise hinder that healing process. Inland's DB-100 is a great option for reefers looking for an at-home fragging saw that's not only functional, but also compact, easy to set up, easy to use, and simply does a great job of making clean, intentional cuts on coral skeletons up to 3 inches thick while keeping the newly cut edges clean from debris. Whether you want to make a straight cut or zigzag or make curved cuts between individual heads on your LPS, this wet diamond blade bandsaw is going to be up for the task. But before I can show you how it works, we're gonna have to get it out of this box. In the box, you'll find the DB-100 saw with a blade partially installed, the worktop or platform, the pre-assembled reservoir and guide, the drain tubing, a small package that includes the blade insert, some nylon screws, a hex wrench, and you'll also get an Inland waterproof drop sheet, as well as a package with the instructions and registration information. The DB-100 is a pretty compact saw, sitting at 13 inches long by 10 inches wide and 18 inches high, and weighs only 10 pounds, which makes it a pretty convenient size for the average reefer to have around the house. The worktop of the saw is 9 inches by 10 3/4 inches, which is a decent amount of space, and there's enough vertical clearance for the blade to cut corals up to 3 inches thick. To power that diamond blade, the DB-100 has a controllable motor that runs up to 3,600 RPM, and the saw is made from a durable composite plastic that will not rust, which is super important since it's going to be in contact with water. You know, being a wet saw and all, it's bound to happen. Beyond the ability to adjust the speed of the motor and the overall compact size of the DB-100, one feature that sets it apart from other popular bandsaws that reefers use is the fact that it does not recirculate the used water. Instead, the DB-100 has a drain hose that allows water to drain to a container like a bucket and constantly drips new RODI water onto the blade. The benefit here is that that milky water filled with the calcium carbonate grit and coral flesh and mucus doesn't end up being recirculated along with the water back onto your coral cutting, ultimately making for cleaner cuts and less chance for that fresh coral frag to get damaged by excess grit or mucus from the previous coral. When you first get it out of the box, there is a little bit of assembly required, but nothing crazy. The DB-100 comes nearly completely set up. You just need to attach the worktop, seat the blade onto the wheels, insert the leather blade wiper, attach the reservoir and hoses, install the blade insert on the worktop, and you're done with assembly. The blade is held in place by 2 wheels, and if the blade doesn't want to stay put, you may also need to make small adjustments to the top wheel via the thumb screw on the back. Next, fill the reservoir with RODI water, adjust the flow, and you're all set. But before you start cutting, play it safe and wear safety glasses or goggles and some well-fitting nitrile gloves. Inland also provides a drop sheet so you can cover your work surface, but it's also a great idea to place the saw on top of a shallow pan or bin to catch any drips. Also, don't forget to place the drain hose in a bucket, and I also like to have a jug of RODI so I can top up that reservoir as needed for longer fragging sessions. Once you're all done with your cutting, cleanup is really easy. Because the DB-100 doesn't recirculate accumulate water, you don't need to carry the saw to a sink to dump it out. Instead, I like to use a spray bottle from the dollar store to spritz down the inside of the saw with RODI and allow the runoff to land in the tray or the bin that the saw is sitting in. Give it a quick pat dry, and it is ready to be stored until the next fragging session. So if you're ready to step up your fragging game and the DB-100 matches your reefing mantra, you can pick one up for yourself by clicking right here. I still can't believe that it didn't say apron in the manual the whole time I'm calling this a drop sheet, which I guess it also is technically, but I mean, it's clearly an apron. Oh well, it's both.